I'm Liz Faublas, and this is a special Net Telethon edition of Currents. Who actually makes the news? We'll show you.
There's a constant pace going in the newsroom. Sometimes it seems quiet, but it's quiet because everybody is busy and working.
Plus, think you're too cool for school? You may want to think again.
I feel the students, when they go to high school, they're prepared academically, spiritually, and also socially, and they do have that foundation.
And putting out into the deep with Bishop DiMarcio.
One day, I was Bishop of Camden. I was able to go to the Vatican, and I had this morning mass with him. And that was a moving experience because you could be there during the time he had his meditation.
Thanks for joining us. Tonight, we're going to take you inside Currents and let you have a look at how we put this show together every day. Currents is the only daily Catholic TV news show in the world, and we're very proud of that. We're here each day to keep you informed about how world and local events impact your lives as Catholics. We like to say it's news that goes against the tide because we're looking at a faith element that generally is ignored by the secular press. We're on top of the issues, and we bring you immediate reactions from the Pope, our bishops, and people in the pews. Each night, we present you with the day's headlines, an interview on a current situation, and video of what's happening around the world and around the diocese. Let's take a look behind the scenes.
Coming down to 5.
Currents is in its third season right now. And I think we're a little bit of a different show than we were when it first began. And certainly we've honed it a little bit in the last 6 months. And it really is, how does this news impact upon Catholic life? I mean, that's the reason we're doing the show. We're in business to present the message of the Catholic Church and to show why it makes a difference in being human.
Just the fact that we're covering Catholic stories on a daily basis puts us in another league from most every other Catholic station, and I think that resonates with viewers very much.
You talk about Catholic news, certainly here in the diocese. You know, Ed Wilkinson's name is synonymous with that. Certainly synonymous with the tablet, and it's great to have him also as the news director of Currents.
Yeah, I got here and Ed was one of the hosts of Tablet Week in Review, and here we are, I guess about 20 years after I started here, and Ed's my boss, news director of Currents. It's such an advantage to have somebody with that type of experience and someone who knows the game like Ed from a journalistic point of view working with us.
I've always enjoyed the newspaper work, and the little work that I did with the prayer channel, I had a lot of fun with. And now this is a real challenge, the Currents, being news director of Currents. It's a real challenge, but I'm having a great time. And if I wasn't having a great time, it wouldn't be worth all the effort, believe me.
I'm Liz Faublas, and this is Currents.
We have a new anchor, Liz Faublas, who is terrific. We're very happy to have gotten her. When Matt McClure came to me and said that he was not going to renew his contract, it was a big loss. And we started to look around, and we were lucky.
She's great for the show. I think that she really brings a great energy to the show.
She came up through the Catholic school system, going to Nazareth and St. John's University. So it's really a win-win situation for us.
Everyone's greeted me with open arms, with a lot of warmth. There's so much professionalism here. There's a mutual respect throughout departments and among colleagues that it just really encourages you to just want to come to work, want to do your best.
I try to be in early, and we get started each morning on what's going to go on the air that night on Currents. I usually meet with the assistant news director, Shufi, who is in our office, and she's really the heart and soul, the manager of the newsroom. We review the big news of the day and what stories, what's possible for us to do that day.
You pretty much hit the ground running. The entire team does, so because we already know what we need to do in order to be prepared for taping at 4 o'clock.
Sometimes there is an interview that they've planned to shoot for the day, so we try to figure out where that's going to be.
I start researching, I'm listening to past interviews, I'm looking up the guests and seeing, what their points of view were, what they are, and how I can push their point of view forward and make it interesting.
We know what the stories are going to be. We start planning out what the graphics are going to be for those particular stories.
One of my main duties is to put together all the headlines So I have to scan different websites and different news sources that we have here and find stories that I think will be of interest to our viewership.
There are issues that make a difference to us as Catholics, so we're concentrating on those issues. How does that affect us?
We probably had as many as 15 headlines in the show, depending on how the day is going and what's happening in the world.
When we get the headlines rundown from Chris, that's when things really pick up and start percolating, because sometimes you have up to 12 or 14 headlines and you've got to get graphics together for all of them, and then you've got B-roll and you've got packages and SOTs.
The stories are very well covered and they're very in-depth. In every aspect of creativity, you have to have a respect for what you're doing. And if you respect what you're doing, there'll always be some nerves there, because you want to do it properly, you want to do it correctly, you want to deliver.
I mean, it's a real team effort. Everybody just coming together, and at the end of the day, we've put together a half-hour product that we feel that we can be proud of.
Each day we probably learn new things and learn how to do things better than we did the day before.
What I appreciate about it is that it addresses real-life issues. It touches the heart, it makes you think, so you kind of get a very well-rounded experience from watching.
It's essential to have a Catholic television station. Everybody watches television. It gives the church to have their own station like this a great opportunity to again, inform people about what's happening around them and how that, what that has to do with them being Catholic. The challenge is to get more of our people to be watching Currents so that we can all be better informed and we can all move together as a church.
When we return, we'll take a look at one of our newest features that involves Catholic education. Welcome back. I'm Liz Faublas, and thanks for being part of the Nets 2012 Telethon. Recently, we introduced a regular feature on Currents, School of the Week. Each week, we visit one of our Catholic schools here in Brooklyn or Queens, and we show you up close how Catholic education makes a difference in the lives of our students. Now, we all know that sending your kids to Catholic schools requires a sacrifice, but the rewards and benefits are worth it. Take a look now at what our cameras have found in Catholic schools.
There's been a lot of negative stories about Catholic school closing, and we heard all the time in the press about the schools closing. But if you really listened to what we were told, which was about, quote unquote, preserving the vision, and preserving the vision really was that, yes, we do have our sights on maintaining Catholic education. Is it still feasible to keep the same model? No, it wasn't feasible. In order for it to continue, then we would have to sort of change our model and our method.
The diocese didn't come and close schools. We sat down and said, this is where we are, and how can we make education better?
So it's a concerted effort on everybody's part to really try and just become a family.
Change is inevitable, and you have to go with it for the children to really be prepared.
You can have the best teachers in the world, you can have the best facilities in the world, you can have the best technology in the world, but I think what Catholic education does, and our faith does, is kind of gels them together.
If we lose our character, we lose everything. Character is built in children through helping them to grow academically, emotionally, physically, socially, religiously. That's all part of their character.
And I feel the students, when they go to high school, they're prepared academically, spiritually, and also socially, and they do have that foundation.
People have said that we've been the Harvard of the Catholic education in the area, and I believe it's possibly because we like to tweak our education a little bit.
My graduating group last year won 31 scholarships to Catholic high schools and numerous acceptances to the specialized programs in the public high school. My children win awards throughout the year for things that they participate in.
And it's done here with love, kindness, and most of all, fun. I wanted to make sure that they are taken care of as I would take care of my own.
Somebody always has a talent in something. In this world, you need to have something extra you do to advance yourself. Education is business, academics, and spirituality. I think in society we need a lot more people who know who they are, not who other people think they are.
God is endless in his creativity, and our mission, we believe, is to create a school where every child is valued and every child is celebrated for their strengths. From its inception, the Diocese of Brooklyn has been the Diocese of Immigrants. Currently, we have a student body and staff that has 56 different countries of origin.
These are the kids that are going to be the kids that are going to bring peace to this world. We're going to have world peace because they're going to say, you know, we really are one.
The school itself runs programs or activities that put our children in a position to reach out to people that they'll never meet. I would want our graduates to come back and say that they left our school well prepared to take up a place in the world, and that it's a world that they got to know through their service.
It doesn't feel like we just got here and we're still getting used to it. It's flowing. Good.
What I wanted was for us, after 6 months, to sit around and say, gee, this is so good, we should have done this years ago. That we actually formed something that we could have done years ago and would have been better even then. And I feel that we're there. We're getting there where we sit around and say, this is so good, we should have done this a long time ago.
I know there was a fear of maybe cliques forming, but they're all getting along great.
They have been able to socialize very well.
And nobody really had the, this is mine and what's yours.
Each child has more possibilities for friendship. Each grade has more children on its level.
It has been a success story.
We were 3 struggling schools. We're now 1 strong school with over 730 students, and we're actually the largest school in the Brooklyn and Queens Diocese.
Since we opened in 2009, our enrollment has increased by more than 20%.
We had 2 pre-Ks, 2 kinders, and now we're up to 2 first grades.
And it looks like those trends are going to continue for the foreseeable future.
Out of something that was disconcerting, out of that came something very positive.
It will no longer be Most Precious Blood School, it will most likely be Most Precious Blood Academy. But that won't change the fact that we're still going to be saying our prayers.
I'm always amazed when children who are not necessarily baptized Catholic want to become Catholic. And when we witness their baptism at Easter, that's more than a salary. That's our goal. It will continue because there are always people searching for an education that is not only excellent, but value-based.
We're so proud of our Catholic schools. Each week during the school year, we'll continue to show you our featured School of the Week. If you've missed the first schools that we visited, you can see them on our website at www.currentsny.net. We'll be right back. Just ahead, what's on the bishop's mind? We'll find out.
It's a lot of things that we have to think about, how we protect our country, how we live our lives, how we understand what forgiveness is about.
Thanks for joining us during the Nets Telethon 2012. We've been looking at how we put things together on Currents, our daily news show. Each week, we welcome to our studio Bishop Nicholas DeMarcio, our chief shepherd. Now, the bishop always has something to say, and if you listen, you just might learn something. Here's what I mean.
One day, I was Bishop of Camden. I was able to go to the Vatican, and I had this morning Mass with him. And that was a moving experience because you could be there during the time he had his meditation, which was obviously deep in prayer. And I was the only bishop there that day, so I was able to concelebrate right next to him in his chapel, and I have a wonderful photograph of that.
What do you think Mass is going to be like? Do you think people had ample opportunity to kind of prepare for the change?
Well, there was ample opportunity. I'm not sure everybody took it. The reason for this is that the principles of translation that the Church approves basically have changed. And so we're looking more closely at a translation that's more in conformity with what's really being said in the Latin. We're looking to the future, we're looking at our structure, making sure that we are carrying out the mission, which is the mission of the new evangelization.
What do you see as we head down the road with this plan in place?
I think the plan will tell us how to be more effective. It'll tell us how we need to hone in on some priorities, because you just can't keep doing everything. The real issue is that we've got to deal with both sides of what we would say is illegality. First of all, breaking the law, coming here, and also people who hire people who they shouldn't hire. So we need to enforce the workplace, I believe. It's not the border that's the issue, not the fence that some people want to build, but rather it's a secure work document that will ensure that only those who are allowed to work will work, and that will take away the incentive for people to come.
This is not a religious issue. This is an issue of human nature. This is an issue of marriage and the proper understanding of marriage.
We're not against anybody. We're just saying marriage is marriage, and it should be kept sacrosanct. It's an institution of thousands of years, of what the state has been involved in regulating for a couple, quite a few centuries. But so we are saying that we should keep it the way it is.
Sure. And after the bill was passed, you made a plea to the priests of the diocese regarding state legislators.
Basically, it was a protest for the system and the process by which this was adopted. There was very little debate, actually. There were no hearings. This was something done the 11th hour, the last week of the legislature, and no understanding of the implications of this. It's basically a protest for what happened, and this applied to all the legislators, those who voted for and those who voted against it. We should probably have at least 500 from the Diocese of Brooklyn, which is quite a good number. I don't know if they all know what they're getting into, what they're going to experience, but they do want, it's something different. They're adventurous, as young people should be. They want to see the world, and they find perhaps something they weren't expecting, an atmosphere of faith, and solidarity, which is very important. I'm not sure that anybody can rejoice in the death of another person, no matter who they are. Does it bring closure? I don't think so. I think it's still an open sore. It's a lot of things that we have to think about, how we protect our country, how we live our lives, how we understand what forgiveness is about, how we don't target a certain group of people and say that it's their fault. So there are a lot of lessons that are being learned. I'm not sure we've learned them all yet.
Sure.
Sometimes when you hear somebody preaching and it's long, you say, "Oh yeah, I like that, and give me some more." But if it's not too good, and it's you say, "Well, cut that down." The old saying is that homilies should have a beginning and an end, but not too much in the middle,
right?
So that it's concise. But the real issue is there's a message that has to come, and you want to have the message. You don't want to have to dig for it. We combine in Catholic education quality and also the content of faith, which is so important. So both of them come together in Catholic education. I think we do a very good job at it, except that we don't have it universally available to everybody. We can't accommodate everybody. We never could, really. The bishops in the Council of Baltimore back in the 19th century wanted every parish to have a Catholic school. We never achieved that goal, but today we're trying to consolidate the ones we do have so that we can have Catholic education available to those who can avail themselves of it. Fortunately, at one time it was free, and now they have to pay for it because we don't have the religious staffing the schools. So we've kind of come around. We recognize the importance of it, but we're trying to preserve it.
Well, Bishop DiMarzio sure knows how to put things into their proper perspective, and he doesn't mince words, as you've seen. Stay with us. We'll be right back. When we return, a look at the many faces and places in this city of churches. Welcome back. As we wrap up our special telethon edition of Currents, we want to show you some of the many different faces of the Catholic Church in Brooklyn and Queens, and we'll take you to some events that maybe you weren't able to get to this past year. Watch.
It's a tough loss, and we miss him so much. If God would have came down years ago and called to us and said to us, "I will give you a boy, but you will only have him for 41 years. We would have gladly taken him, because even what happened, they never can take away from us the 41 years of joy he brought to our family.
D-Day was accomplished by sheer guts and nothing else. Anytime I got into a tough spot and I had the ability to say a prayer, I always said a prayer but always for my family, never for myself. I never wanted to ask anything for myself.
The Gestapo, he say, you know what Auschwitz is? Yeah, I know what Auschwitz. That's where you go. They give you numbers. They give you our Auschwitz number here. They tell us, you forget your name. You have no name. You have a number. There's no way out from here. Only three chimney pointed to the crematorium chimney. That's the only way where you can get out.
I would tell the people of Haiti that it really hurt me just to see them so lost, feel like there's no hope. And I want to tell them that there is hope, that they're not alone, that there are people here that want to help them. Things are going to get better for them. I know it is.
I'm not here to tell you that I'm adequate. What I'm here to tell you is that God loves me because I'm inadequate. God loves me because I don't have it all together. And God loves me because I'm just being real. I'm just being honest. I'm here to serve. I'm here to love. That's it. And whether I'm adequate or not, I don't think it really matters. I think what matters is that I love, end of story.
Oh, like this. Okay. Any tips for me?
Yeah. Maybe you can help us out on the sidelines next time.
I'll plan on doing that.
Go for style points because I don't think you're going to make home plate.
I'll try to do that. Rudy was pretty good just a second ago, the former mayor. I mean, do you think I can beat that? It doesn't look good. Well, looks like Professor Paul Pope was right once again. My pitch was a little low and outside. I don't know. I guess I haven't missed my calling. Not going to be quitting the day job. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do better than I did at the ballpark, all right? Here we go. Heavy J, heads up.
People are here today because for the past year, we've been blessed with having a special needs mass. Our DRE wanted to put together a program for families who may not feel wanted or invited in other parishes.
They are here to commemorate their loved ones who have passed 2 years ago from the earthquake back in Haiti. People will come up to me at my parish, Father, pray for my cousin who passed, for my mother who passed, for my father who passed.
Every Sunday we have people from all over the parish just to come for line dancing and Zumba.
Line dancing is something fun. It's simple. Everybody could do it. It's basic steps, and your first time might be the most difficult day, but after that you'll get a hang of it, and if you stick with it, you'll have a lot of fun.
Both the spiritual and the physical would nourish our body and our soul.
Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Today is a day where students can make the connection between what they're learning about Dr. King and his famous speech, I Have a Dream, with their own lives.
Although it still isn't like that, it inspires most of us today to work harder and harder just like he did.
What the lessons and carols do is that it serves as a reminder to all of us who are Christians about the birth of Christ and the gift that God had given us.
The relic is a bone from his left foot, and that's significant because Father Damien discovered he had leprosy when he put his left foot in the boiling water and felt nothing, which was a sign that he had the disease.
So Ed, I'm thinking maybe the tablet should write an article about me.
Well, you're a nice guy, but just not interesting enough. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming.
Nice meeting you. Thanks.
Well, that's it for now. We hope you've enjoyed our look in the mirror at who we are and also who you are as members of the church in this diocese. Remember, you can watch Currents every weekday evening at 7:30 and 11:30 and also at 6:30 the following morning for you early birds. And you can always stay in touch with us by connecting with us on Facebook and following us on Twitter. You can also share your thoughts by emailing us. That address is dropusaline@currentsny.net. And of course, you can check out anything you may may have missed on our show by heading over to our website, currentsny.net. For all of us here at Currents, I'm Liz Faublas. Thank you for watching each night and have a great evening.